9. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're joined now by Victoria Ibezim-Ohaeri, who is the Executive Director, Spaces for Change. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, now that so much information out there about how we need to pull together, what the authorities should be doing, are you optimistic about this?
It's natural to be optimistic because lives are involved. We're talking about the lives of large number of schoolgirls. There's no certainty as to the number of people that we're looking for, but what we're sure of is that there are a large number of schoolgirls that are missing. So optimism is like the only alternative we have, so that these girls are rescued, they are found, they are returned, they are united with their parents, and also given opportunities to go to school so that they can fully realize their full potentials.
What do you think about the video that was released of them?
The video, I watched it with mixed feelings. But whether or not, there are so many stories, there are so many theories out there, but whether or not they are the girls we're looking for, that Boko Haram has such large number of young girls in their custody is enough to evoke serious worry in the mind of any right-thinking Nigerian. You know, it's not about whether they are the Chibok girls, whether they are the previous girls that were abducted from Ashiga, the College of Business Administrative Studies. You know, it doesn't matter where they are from. The most important thing that I see human beings, I see young girls. The one that spoke, I see someone that was traumatized, speaking against her will. You don't know the conditions in which they live. I've heard from people that were attacked by robbers, and they lead you to your neighbor, and you have to put up a smiling face and mock. And you know, so whatever that they are looking well fed, I heard someone saying that they're looking well fed. They're looking well fed, or they are wearing, crying, is no proof of absence of trauma. Something bad is happening to them. They are not there voluntarily. That's the most important thing. They are there against their will. So that is the message that I had hoped that our authorities should be discussing right now. Unfortunately, things are going the usual way of trying to look for Gary in a bag of sand, you know, whatever.
Now the governor says that he's got information or passed it to the security agencies that they still are within the country. Does this change anything for you?
That is why we have expertise from different places coming in. We want to find out exactly where these girls are. Are they in Nigeria? Are they in Cameroon? Are they in Chad? Are they in Niger? I saw them, didn't look like a forest. There was quite some space at the background. You know, it wasn't bushy, it wasn't very hidden. And I've seen some commentaries about people talking about space, you know, not being able to take. People don't understand that the space does not detect moving objects. You know, it's able to capture geolocated, you know, items, things that are specific. It can capture this building because it's static here. But if things are moving, it's not like a camera that is moving around, chasing things around. You know, it's able to capture things if they are static in one location. So the information is not there for people to understand how to also communicate, the kind of questions they will ask. And that is where I blame the federal government. You know, they are busy rolling out different legislations, instruments, security policies, but there is no corresponding energy or effort to ensure that people even understand what those policies are. You know, there's a new terrorism act legislation. I hear it only when I attend all those meetings in Abuja, you know, those elitist enclaves, those kind of conversations, very technical conversations that any market woman can relate with. So there has to be a very deliberate effort to make people understand what are the security structures and mechanisms in place that people can access. Majority of Nigerians, I think 90% of Nigerians, is even worse up north. So it's very complicated. It's a very complicated situation, but the government, they still have the primary obligation to protect lives and property. That is why we have to keep looking back at the government.
Shouldn't we then ask questions? Because it's three-pronged: judiciary, legislature, and the executive. We seem to ask questions of the executive a lot more. What about the judiciary? I mean, this terrorism act, it was passed by the National Assembly. Judiciary is supposed to latch onto that, but are we asking enough questions of these other two agencies?
You're asking is important. That's a very important. Judicial angle is, but remember that the judiciary, they don't work on theories. Judiciary acts on facts. For the judiciary to determine a case, it means that somebody has done his homework well, gathered evidence, put your proof of evidence together. You have made sure that if you are accusing A of being behind the bomb blast in Nyanya, for instance, you have information that directly links him, or there's circumstantial evidence is so cogent and compelling enough to link him to that crime. It's not enough to parade people. It's easy to parade people. You can parade me, you can parade anyone. So beyond the drama, security agencies have to go beyond the drama. I see a lot of drama. I see a lot of reactionary kind of intervention. When you put people out there, you go background, put everything you have together. When you now come to court, I know the judiciary, there's a lot of problem, particularly on the part of the lawyers, putting a lot of frustrating appeals, motions, that can delay trial. That is true. But in cases where people, if you have brought all your documents together, you have a very tight case with all your proofs attached and your evidence that is brought before, adduced before the court, and the admissible evidence tendered rightly before the court. We haven't heard that has happened and the courts refused to adjudicate.
No, but the DSS has spoken up. They say that there's cases where, they concluded the investigation to just to pass a judgment and it's being delayed. And then the court is even saying, well, release the suspect until past judgment. So you haven't heard of that complaint?
Yeah, those complaints come all the time. But I think why the bigger problem is that there's a lot of bulk passing between agencies. Agencies that should assume responsibility, do what they're supposed to do. For instance, the video is out there of the young girls. The first and most important thing I expected the security agencies, number one, look at the video and profile it. The faces of the girls are very clear. You profile the video, send it to WAEC. WAEC, you have pictures of these girls, they have passport photographs of these girls. Then bring out small clips. By now, I believe that the government should have a real database of all the parents that are looking for their girls. Call them together, give them the video. Can you point at your daughter here? Can you point? There's so many little things that need to tie together.
I'm talking about...
it's not about the agencies, but the court is like the final process. After
because I think you're right. Look at the close-up shot of this. Definitely, if we start to bring them up now and say...
bring them up. Look for their parents. Like if it's your daughter and you're showing this video, you'll be able to say that's my daughter.
What I'm talking about is the case, not this case, cases that the DSS has before the courts that they're supposed to have passed judgment and the courts have not, and they've told the DSS, as it were, well, release the suspect until judgment is passed. So those kind of complaints from the judiciary, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if there are such complaints, there are several ways of taking action, even executive action, to redress those. We've not heard that those happened. Someone appoints the judges. There is a national judicial body that looks into such cases. The DSS, have they taken a formal complaint to those bodies, asking that action be taken? That is the question they need to answer.